Hello, this is Rogue 73 and I'm off to work today, and the weather's really cracking down now, so trying out some of my cold weather gear, which is very important to do. First of all, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to work today, so this is the weather at the moment. And it's been snowing like this now all night. Started off with freezing rain and then snow, and then some more freezing rain and snow again, and it's just been constantly snowing now for at least about 7 hours. So if it keeps this up, either I won't be able to get to work or I won't be able to get home from work, one or the other. But let's try to document some of what's going on, and then maybe I'll talk about what blows around. Today I'm going to talk about the importance of having a good EDC pack and changing it for your day-to-day environment, and if you know there's a situation going to come up, to actually change it for that situation. A few days ago we had some pretty bad snow here in Japan, especially around where I live. I live pretty high in the mountains, and because I knew the snow was coming and that I had to try to go to work the next day, I re-kitted out my EDC pack to basically hold a few extra things that I might need, and actually luckily didn't need, but they just having them with me reassured me that I could use them if I had to use them to get home, as I did have to use my EDC pack to get home with. One of those things was my hobo stove, which if you don't know what it is, you can check the link up here and find out what that is. What I did put into my hobo stove for extra few things was some extra soup packets, actually some kind of energy biscuit type bars which can be made into sort of porridge. I also put in an extra quart of water to bring with me, actually warm water. That was in case I needed to use it with my hobo stove to cook up some soup, if the case needed, because we were dealing with snow, and the snow that was coming down wasn't just snow, it was kind of ice as well, sleet, that was actually freezing the area. I also brought down these, which are basically they are compact snow spikes which basically fit at the bottom of your shoe. Now look, I didn't need these, but I have used these in the past when the weather got really bad up here. So just to explain what actually happened, we had pretty heavy snowfall on the Friday night. Saturday morning going to work, I used public transport, and it took me nearly 3.5 hours to actually get to where I was working that day, which wasn't really that far away. It was actually about 8 miles away from where I live, but I live kind of on the mountain, so it was down off the mountain that I was working. And then as the day progressed, public transport was slowly closed down and shut off, which means I had no way of getting home. So the best thing that I could do was rely on my trusty iPhone and my Google app, the Google Map, to actually pick a route to actually get home. Once I had picked a route and found that it was only going to take me about 2.5 hours to cover 7 miles, it was pretty good. Using the satellite imagery that I got from Google, I was able to judge, would this route be viable to do, and on that and my own personal mountaineering skills and rescue skills, I decided, yeah, it was safe enough for me to try to get home, to cover those seven or so miles at night time, late afternoon, night time, to get home. Now, some things that I found by doing this, and I think everyone should do this at some point, maybe not in the situation that I did it, but definitely try to get home using your EDC pack, or just try to get home in a different way that you normally do. One thing I did find is that my personal knowledge of being able to read satellite photographs was very handy, because then I was able to judge and actually work out what the route that the Google Maps had actually picked for me. Just by going by normal topographical maps that the Google uses doesn't give you all the details, doesn't give you all the houses, all the little nuances that you need when you're using GPS to get home or picking a route to get home. By having the satellite imagery, I was able to then use the houses that were around me as basically locations to make sure I was travelling in the right direction and what type of environment I was going through. And what I mean by this is that the route first started off taking some back roads to little town areas which were very busy at that hour of the night. There is very little street lamps, but a lot of traffic on the road, so these things I have to bear in mind. Then it took me into heavily residential areas, to different type of very built up areas where I could then resupply from the local shops what I needed to move on the way. And then at the end of the journey it did take me into a very rural area, which was sparsely populated, until it brought me to a park, huge big park, which I talked about before in one of my other videos, which is very near my house, and basically it has camping grounds and other walkways and hiking routes and sports areas. And this route took me to the back of there, which I then had to go up through the park and then up to my house. Once I got to that park area, I realised that how cold it was and how much snow was still in my area that I lived in. What did I realise also by doing this was that having a backup for your backup is very, very important. Yes, I had a flashlight with me, and it didn't fail me at all, but just in the knowledge that I had another flashlight, I had, because we have the light on the iPhones as well if needed, and also then my battery pack that I have actually has a light on it as well. So here we go. Boom. Just having that knowledge that they were there was very, very handy. Other thing that did pop into my mind as I was walking around was my own safety, personal safety, especially going through the residential areas. If there was a disaster situation or civil unrest, how safe would those areas be, and what protection did I have with me? And I realised I had no protection except for the flashlight in my hand. Now it's only a small little stubby flashlight, but it would make a very good baton for defensive purposes anyway. But maybe having a knife would have been a nice idea to have on my person, just for personal protection, to build up my confidence a bit more. But then you run into law problems with your local area and your policing, that if I was stopped by the police and they would want to know why I had a knife on me. So you do have to be very careful about what you bring with you for protection and why you have it, and the laws in your area. What would I bring with me the next time I do it, or from now on, would be something that's not a knife but I could use to defend myself, like a baton of some sort, that could be used for something else, and that's the reason why I could keep it. So that'd be something I'll have to look into. As regards to my EDC carry that I normally carry, I still have my patrol pack that I made myself. I had my normal EDC bag at the bottom of that, which caters for first aid. It has a map in there, and it has a few other multi-tools and other devices to be used if I needed. Then with my hobo stove and the food that I had with me, I was pretty confident that if cases needed using a space blanket that I also put in my bag, that I could survive out in the cold. I did have my snug pack with me, as well as a good rain gear and rain bottoms, which gave me extra insulation on the way. So this is just a basic short video to remind you that you do have to update your EDC pack for the as things change around you, and don't just go out with the same EDC pack every day. If you know something's going to happen in your area, weather-wise or something else, do prepare for that as well and change your EDC pack to go with that. I hope this has been helpful for some people. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and always remember, be prepared.